No matter how hard they try to distract themselves or move forward, your thoughts keep coming back to them, haunting their every moment. It's as if a piece of them is missing, and that missing part is you. They can't help but constantly think about the memories you both shared, the way you smiled at them, the comfort of your presence, and the emotional bond that once brought you both so close. Despite the time that has passed, they still feel your energy lingering in their life, and it's a presence they can't seem to escape. As they reflect on everything, they're beginning to notice something they failed to see before: how much you've grown. They see you evolving into a stronger, more independent person. You're no longer the same individual who once depended on their love and attention. Instead, you've become someone who stands confidently on your own, focused on your goals and self-worth. This transformation is both admirable and painful for them to witness, because it serves as a reminder of what they lost by not valuing you when they had the chance. There is a growing sense of regret in their heart. They know they were careless with your love and your trust. They remember the moments they took you for granted, the times they didn't listen, and the ways they failed to prioritize your connection. Now, they can see clearly how unfair they were to you. They didn't treat you with the respect or seriousness that you deserved. What once seemed like a steady, lasting relationship was mishandled due to their immaturity, arrogance, and emotional unavailability. Karma seems to be finding its way into their life, and they're experiencing the same kind of pain they once caused you. They're now on the receiving end of the emotional confusion and heartache, and it's forcing them to face the consequences of their actions. While you are steadily rebuilding your life, focusing on your passions and goals, they're left wondering if you still think about them. They question whether a part of you misses them too, or if you've already moved on completely. Their thoughts are consumed with what could have been. They're beginning to realize that perhaps the two of you were always meant to be together, that fate had aligned your paths for a reason. But their stubbornness, their ego, and their unwillingness to change in the past ended up pushing you away. They now understand that the connection you shared was rare and deeply meaningful, and their heart aches with the knowledge that they ruined something so precious. In their solitude, they've started to isolate themselves from the world. Friends and social settings no longer bring them joy. Instead, they find themselves lost in thoughts, wondering how they can ever make things right. They're thinking about what steps they need to take, what words they need to say, and how they can show you they've changed. They desperately want you to believe that they're no longer the same person who hurt you, that they've matured and learned from their mistakes. Your absence is more than just silence to them, it's a void that grows deeper every day. It's causing them anxiety, sadness, and a sense of helplessness. The fear of losing you forever is something they can't bear. You weren't just someone they dated, you were their safe space, their confidant, their true love. The bond you shared was something they now realize they may never find again, and that realization is tearing them apart. They want to reach out to you, to explain everything, to tell you that they see things clearly now. They want to express how deeply sorry they are and how they would do anything for another chance to love you the right way. But they're also afraid that it might be too late, that your heart has already moved on, that the damage is irreversible. Still, they hold on to the hope that somehow, you'll see the sincerity in their efforts if they can just show you how much they've grown. Their heart knows one truth above all others: you are the person they love, the person they were always meant to cherish. Losing you has been their greatest regret, and all they want now is a chance to make things right. Whether or not you decide to let them back into your life, one thing is certain: your impact on them is lasting, and your love is something they will carry with them forever. I've been missing you more than words can express. Lately, you've been occupying my thoughts almost constantly, morning, noon, and night. It's like you've settled into every quiet space in my mind, and no matter what I do or where I am, there you are, your voice, your smile, your presence. I've found myself thinking about the conversations we had, the moments we shared, and the things that once seemed small but now feel so significant. It's been both beautiful and painful, because while I cherish every memory, I also feel the weight of your absence more than ever. Something has shifted in me recently. I've been feeling this incredible burst of energy, a kind of internal push to evolve, to grow, to become something more than I've been. It's like a fire's been lit inside me, urging me to step out of my comfort zone and finally step into the version of myself I've always dreamed of being. And the most surprising part? That fire started because of you. Somehow, everything that sparks inspiration in me also reminds me of you. The books I read, the songs I hear, the sunsets I watch, it all seems to bring you back to me in the most unexpected ways. What's even more incredible is realizing how many of these thoughts I'm now having, we had already talked about before. Topics I once pushed to the back of my mind have become front and center because of those deep, honest conversations we had. You planted seeds in me, ideas, perspectives, truths, that are now taking root and blooming. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for being someone who sees beyond the surface, someone who speaks to the soul. You've helped me reach a level of awareness I didn't even know was possible. I see myself and the world differently because of you. What I admire most is how you never forced change upon me. You never demanded anything. You simply showed up, authentic, kind, patient. You handed me inspiration like a gift, with no strings attached. You never asked me to be anything other than who I was, but somehow, by being near you, I wanted to become better. You gave me a spark, a quiet, steady flame that's now grown into something fierce inside me. You awakened parts of me that had been asleep, and I can't thank you enough for that. I think the part that stings the most is how long it took me to realize all of this. I didn't fully understand just how special you are until I felt the void your absence left behind. I never truly saw my own worth, never really believed I was someone valuable, until I saw myself through your eyes. You made me feel like I mattered. Like I had something in me worth loving, worth investing in. For so long, I carried this belief that I wasn't enough, that I had to earn love by being perfect. But with you, I felt seen, not in spite of my flaws, but somehow because of them. And that was everything. You made me feel like I was important. Like I had purpose. And in turn, you helped me realize how much I've been holding back. You showed me what emotional connection could really look like, how freeing it is to be open, honest, vulnerable. And yet, despite all that, I kept parts of myself hidden. I was afraid. Afraid of being too much, or not enough. Afraid that if I showed you all of me, you might not stay. And now, I deeply regret not allowing myself to be fully vulnerable with you when I had the chance. I was guarded when I should have let you in. I was cautious when I should have trusted. I see that now. Because the truth is, I always knew. Deep down, from the very beginning, I knew you were my person. You were the one who made everything make sense, the calm in my chaos, the light in my darkness. And I let fear get in the way of something real, something rare. I hate that it took distance for me to understand just how much you meant to me, but maybe that's part of the journey. Maybe sometimes we have to lose something to truly appreciate what we had. All I know is that you've changed me. Even from afar, you continue to inspire me, to challenge me, to awaken something deep and true in me. I don't know what the future holds, and I don't want to make promises I can't keep. But what I do know is that you have had an extraordinary impact on my life, and I'll carry that with me always. I will keep growing. I will keep becoming. And whether our paths cross again or not, I want you to know you mattered. You still do. You always will. Your partner has been thinking about you a lot lately, and one thing they can't shake is how much they miss the way you speak to them, the calm, thoughtful, and grounded way you explain things. There was always something deeply comforting about your voice and your words. It wasn't just the sound, but the intention behind them, how you never rushed to judge, how you always sought to understand before being understood. They remember how you could break down the most complex feelings or situations in a way that made everything feel manageable. That gift of communication, that maturity you bring to your conversations and decisions, left a lasting impression. They've realized just how rare that is, how rare you are. They've been reflecting a lot, and the more they do, the more they admire how you carry yourself. You don't just speak wisely, you live with intention, maturity, and strength. You handle challenges with grace. You navigate difficult situations with clarity, and you take responsibility without blaming others or the world. That kind of emotional intelligence isn't something everyone has, and they feel proud, almost in awe, of how you manage your life. There's a kind of quiet strength in you that makes them feel safe, even from a distance. And now, more than anything, they want to talk to you. Really talk. They want to go deep and open up in a way they never did before. Because the truth is, the distance between you, the emotional and perhaps even physical space that grew, wasn't your fault. It wasn't something you caused, even if it might have felt like it at times. It was them. They pulled away. They shut down. Not because they didn't care, and certainly not because you weren't enough, but because they were scared. Scared of what it meant to truly open their heart to someone. Scared of being seen. Of being vulnerable. Of letting someone in so deeply that they could be hurt. They didn't know how to handle that kind of emotional exposure, and so, out of fear, they ran. They ran not from you, but from the idea of being fully known, and possibly fully loved, because that terrified them. They were afraid you wouldn't understand them. Not just the surface version of themselves, but the depths, the raw emotions, the intense feelings, the parts of them they've always kept hidden. They didn't know if you could handle that side of them, and so instead of giving you a chance, they held back. They kept walls up. They silenced parts of themselves. And in doing so, they created a distance that hurt both of you. But now, with the clarity that time and space often bring, they see things differently. They see you as someone who did understand them, even when they couldn't express themselves fully. You were patient. You gave space without walking away. You showed up even when they didn't have the words. And more than that, you gently helped them see things they were blind to. You didn't judge, but you did challenge them. You made them think. You pointed out the places where they were right, and more importantly, where they were going wrong, not to hurt them, but to help them grow. And now they realize what a gift that was. What a gift you are. They see you as someone truly authentic, someone who is real, raw, and unapologetically themselves. There's no performance in you, no sugarcoating or pretending just to please others. You say what you mean and mean what you say. You don't speak to impress, you speak to connect, to clarify, to be honest. And that's something they didn't fully appreciate before, but they do now. That honesty, that integrity, that unwavering sense of self, it's what sets you apart. It's what makes your words matter. It's why, even now, your voice still echoes in their mind, guiding them in small ways through their days. This is why your partner, or maybe the person who hopes to be your partner again, values you so deeply. They appreciate your presence, your insight, your strength. They miss the emotional intimacy, the trust, the depth. And they're finally beginning to understand that the love they were so afraid of was never something to fear, because with you, it wasn't about control or pressure or expectation. It was about honesty, connection, and mutual respect. And now, they want nothing more than a chance to show up differently, to speak their truth, to share their heart, and to tell you, with full sincerity, that you were never the problem. You were the light they were too scared to walk toward.